Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Coming back at you with my coffee talk. This is my coffee talk. Today, now I got another creamer. This is called Wide Awake. It's the Wide Awake Coffee Company. In this store that I go to, the expensive store, it had it on sale. I went there the other day. They had it on sale, and actually bought this creamer before. It's pretty good. It's hazelnut, which is my favorite, and it's non-dairy. So I bought it before and I love it. Now I know the last coffee video I did, I was doing a little bit too much clinking because I listened to it. I'm like, oh my God. But that creamer was a powdered cream, and so I had to keep stirring. So if you guys watched that video, I'm so sorry that I was doing all that clinking. Well, this one is liquid, so it's pretty good. I love this creamer. It's hazelnut and it's non-dairy, and it's called Wide Awake Coffee Company. So, oh, hold on. My mailman's coming. Just a minute. My mailman's coming. Hello.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Hmm. I got a gift. Lecture company sent me a gift. Go figure. Wow. Can't wait to open it up. That's my mailman. Anyway, I want to talk about mommy shaming. Mommy shaming is what I want to talk about. This is my coffee. I'm not going to keep stirring because I know how much of a distraction that was last time. I don't have to because I got the liquor. Thumbnail. Anyway, I want to talk about mommy shaming. It's real bad here on YouTube. You know that everybody talks about the three mommies, Mommy Chrissy, um, Liv, and Jasmine. I don't watch Liv a whole lot. Um, I watch her sometimes, but I don't really watch her a whole lot. But everybody likes to talk about this. There's lots of YouTube mommies on here. I mean, there's lots of. I watched this one. Her name is Damon Wilson. I watch her. It's another one I watch. Her name is Valencia. She has four. She's a divorced black mom. She has four kids. I watch her. There's lots of other and there's another one on here that has 12 kids. I forget what her name is. What she calls her channel. I think she calls it Mother of 12 or something like that. This black lady, young black woman, has 12 kids. So there's other YouTube mommies on here, but for some reason people like to talk about those three. Go figure. They're the topic of a lot of other YouTubers' conversation. But I just don't want to just talk about them, but I want to talk about mommy shaming in general. And but I noticed that it's really, really bad here on YouTube. It's like they critique and scrutinize everything that these mothers do. Mommy Chrissy just did a video where she was cleaning. Because they talk about sometimes we talk about the house, and she was actually cleaning the house, and it was a beautiful home, by the way. She had locks on the. I watched the first time I watched the video, I didn't even notice it, and then somebody said something about it, and I had to actually go back and rewatch it. And somebody was talking about how she locking up and stuff, and people talking about that. Well, actually, I'm gonna do a whole nother video talking about childproofing. Um, I childproofed my house when my kids were little. You know, it's pretty standard. I mean, you know, you're supposed to childproof. You lock certain things. When I worked at the daycare, we used to lock cabinets because little ones, you know, you turn your back. little ones to sometimes get into things, and so you have to have, particularly if you have cleaning supplies and stuff, you have to lock those things up. And if she's trying to regulate their food intake, um, then she might have to lock the cabinets in the refrigerator. I know I used to hide stuff from my kids. I didn't have locks on stuff, but I used to hide stuff from my kids. I still do. If I buy cookies or something like that and I want a certain amount to myself, I'll hide it and I'll ration them. I will ration them out. Okay, because if I don't, I put it in the cabinet. They'll eat the whole thing. They'll eat the whole entire thing. So that's what I do. That's what I used to do. I used to sometimes hide things in my room. You know, if you don't want the kids eating it all, because if they get to it, they'll eat it all. I bought a whole pack of cookies, and then a couple days later, it's gone. I'm like, what happened to the cookies? I didn't even get any. Yeah. Sometimes I still have to do that. So that's not uncommon. It's called that's called child proofing. And if your child was to ingest some poisoning, with the child laws being the way they are now, if your child was to ingest some poisoning or something like that, or some cleaning products, and they have to be hospitalized, they almost die, do you know that you could be charged with child endangerment? Yes. If the child gets ingest poison and they accidentally die, you can be charged with child endangerment. So that's a good thing that she does that, because the child laws are strict. They're very strict, and you can be charged with child endangerment. So she's only doing what she got to do as a mother. Okay, so people talking about that, and it's like people are scrutinizing any and everything that these mothers do on YouTube. Like everything that they do, they scrutinize everything that they do. Now I don't know not one person out here that's a perfect mom. I wasn't a perfect mom. If I had blogged my kids 10, 15 years ago, had I blogged me and my kids, I tell you, you would have been finding a whole lot of fault. You would have been finding a whole lot of mistakes. Okay? So there is no such thing as the perfect mom. I don't know what people expect out of these young ladies. There is no such thing as the perfect mom. Nobody is perfect. And we all do things differently. And there's a reason why we all do things differently. We might have been raised a certain way. Everybody was raised differently. Everybody was raised with different values, with being taught certain things. Some people, believe it or not, some people just wasn't taught. If you was raised and your mama never kept the house clean and she always kept a nasty house, then when you grow up, you may be like that. You know, I know some people that's just the opposite of that. But if you're not taught, if your mother didn't teach you how to clean, and she didn't teach you how to clean house or whatever like that, and she always kept her house nasty and didn't teach you how to clean, then you only know what you know. Unless somebody comes along, um, a loving and caring friend comes along and actually talks to you and show you how to clean and all that kind of stuff, then that's different. Some people turn out to be the opposite, but some people be the same. It depends on your values. It depends on how you were raised and your values and everything. That's why people do things differently. If you were raised a certain way and seen certain things growing up, then you tend to pass that down when you're raising your family, you know? And some things are not wrong, it's just different. Everybody just do things differently. It's not necessarily, some things are not necessarily wrong, it's just different. And it's like, that's the one thing I hated about having kids, is that everybody is a expert. All of a sudden, everybody becomes an expert when you have kids. Yeah, everybody's a child expert, and everybody wants to tell you from the time that you bring them here all the way on up. Everybody wants to put their little 2 cents in and tell you what they think you should do. Now, the only person's advice and I'm not saying I didn't take other people's advice, but I always took my mother's advice as far as when my kids were little, when they were babies and stuff. I always took my mother's advice because my mother raised 6 kids. So she raised her four, and she raised my aunt's two kids. So when my mother would tell, when my kids were babies, and my mother would tell me certain things, I would listen. 9 times out of 10, I would listen because I figured, hey, she was an expert. So, but everybody's an expert. Everybody wants to put their little 2 cents in on what they think, is best for your child and what you think. Now multiply that times 20 if you work in a daycare. Everybody is an expert. Multiply that times 20 when you work in a daycare. Because when I worked at the daycare, oh my God, mm-mm-mm. I know more than you do. Uh, this you're not doing that right. You're not talking to that child right, or being you're not being hard enough on that child, or whatever. Yeah, you're not being firm enough. I was always accused of that one. Not being firm enough. They said that one day. I said, and now I think I was there for 3 years, and somebody that I work with said that to me, and I said, you know what? I'm tired of hearing that. I'm over firm. I didn't know what else to say, so I didn't really, it's one of those situations you don't know what else to say, so you just. I was like, I'm over firm. Anyway, but it's like when I was raising my kids, I always got people's little 2 cents. Everybody putting in their little 2 cents on what they think you should do with your kids. And I even have people telling me what to do with my grown kids. I had somebody tell me what to do with my grown kids, with my grown sons. Yeah. It's like everybody, even when your kids get grown, people want to put their little 2 cents in. They want to put their little 2 cents in. Because I look at it like this: what goes on in my house is my business, between me and mine. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Unless I tell you, and even if I tell you, it still ain't your business. So I figure what goes on in my house is really my business. I don't share everything that goes on in my house on YouTube. I don't really share too much of anything about what goes on in my house on YouTube. And I don't share it with anybody else. And that goes for the people that goes for the people at the hall. That goes for everybody. That everybody's under that umbrella. Whatever goes on in my house is in my house. So when people want to put their little 2 cents in about what they think I should do with my grown sons, I tend to get a little offended, because it's like, okay, I didn't, first of all, didn't ask for your opinion. Second of all, this is my family. These are my sons. You know, okay? I didn't say that, but I wanted to say it. Because sometimes I don't say things, you know, because a lot of times I don't want to argue with folks. So sometimes I just let it go. But that's my thing. It's like, what goes on with me and my sons is between me and my sons. Unless I want to share it with you. And even if I share it with you, it's still really not your business. So, but people want to put their little 2 cents in. When you're having kids, they want to put their little 2 cents in. Everybody's a critic, you know. Everybody is an expert all of a sudden. And then even mothers get shamed. I know I've read blogs. I've read blogs where mosquitoes on my screen. I've read blogs where there were huge debates on stay-at-home moms versus working moms working outside the home. The stay-at-home mom, the working moms were shamed the stay-at-home moms, because they were at home. And first of all, being a stay-at-home mom is a job. Let's clear that up for the record. Being stay-at-home, actually, I did both. I actually did both. I spent more years working outside the home. I obviously spent more years working outside the home, but there was a time where I was a stay-at-home mom. And Both of them, I was a stay-at-home mom when my oldest son was a baby for about a couple, 2 or 3 years. And so when you're a stay-at-home mom, you still have the responsibility. I only had one child at the time. I still had to feed him. I still had to do laundry. I still had to clean the house. I still had to do all that. But when you're a working mom and you work outside the home, you have to do all that. You have to clean the house, do the laundry, take care of the kids and all that stuff, plus work outside the home. So it's like you have two jobs. When you work out, you're a working mom and you work outside the home, it's like you have two jobs. Literally, you got one outside the home, your paid gig, and then when you come home, you got to still clean the house, do the cooking, do the laundry, the caretake of the children. You still got to do all that. And then on top of that, if you're a single mother, there you go. Okay? So I spent more years working outside the home. Like I said, I think I was a stay-at-home mom for like 2 or 3 years when my oldest was a baby. And I still did laundry. I still did the cooking. I still cleaned the apartment. At the time I had an apartment. Um, care, taking care of my son. Still did all that. I just didn't have. Well, I worked off and on. But then when I started working outside the home, I had to do that plus come home and do all that other stuff that you have to do. Okay, so this big old debate. I know I've read blogs where there were huge debates where mothers that worked outside the home were shaming mothers that were stay-at-home moms. That's just ridiculous because being a stay-at-home mom is a job. I don't care what anybody say. It is a job. It's just when you work outside the home, it's like you're working two jobs. You're literally working two jobs. You're working out. You have your job outside the home, then you come home, cook, clean, take care of the kids. Okay, that's a whole nother job. Working inside the home. Because it is work more than less. Cleaning the house, cooking the meals, caretaking the children, it is work. So anybody that says that is not work, being a stay-at-home is not work, is seriously deluded and they're very highly judgmental. It is work. It is a job. And depending on how many children you have, it could be a lot of hard work. Even you one of these mothers that keep a nasty house and don't really clean the house, you still doing something. You still doing something. You doing something. You feeding the kids and you doing something. So it is being a stay-at-home mom. I think the mosquitoes out here. It is a job. So I just hate it when people try to suggest that a stay-at-home mom is lazy and they don't do anything. Because that couldn't be further from the truth. A, a stay-at-home mother, it works very, very hard. They have to go run the errands, go do the grocery shopping, cleaning, cooking, doing laundry, taking care of the children. And if you got more than one, or you got 2 or 3 kids, or whatever, okay, well you got to take care of the kids, getting kids off to school, dropping kids off, picking kids up, running errands. All that goes under that umbrella, and that's a job. It's a job. So I hate it when people say that it's not a job. It is a job. So women get shamed for that. It's huge debates about that. I like to read the blogs where people are debating about that. And then, but then it's like they critique every little thing these mothers do on YouTube. People don't think the house is clean enough. They got something to say about that. People don't think that the baby's hair is combed or whatever. They got something to say about that. Or uh, I've even heard them be judged all the way down to where they buy the clothes. If they're shopping at Walmart, okay, what's wrong with shopping at Walmart? Somebody said something about Strong Mommy Chrissy or somebody was shopping at Walmart. What is wrong with shopping at Walmart? I used to get my kids stuff, some of my kids' clothes at Walmart. Well, as they got older, they got a little picky and, you know, they didn't want to get their stuff at Walmart and Kmart no more. I didn't get all their stuff there, but I got certain things there. Hey, you save a few bucks going to Walmart. There ain't nothing wrong with Walmart. Walmart got nice stuff. And when you got growing children, and particularly when they're little, they grow so fast. It doesn't make any sense to spend an obscene amount of money on children's clothes. I don't think. Oh my God, what is that? Huge bug. Just I don't know what it was. It doesn't make any sense to spend an obscene amount of money on children's shoes and children's clothes because they grow so fast. They grow so fast. I bought good quality. I used to buy my sons Nikes and things like that because I wanted the tennis shoes to last. But, it just doesn't make sense to spend a whole bunch of money on children's clothes unless you just got money to burn. Unless you just got money to burn like that. You got money to burn like that, I guess you can. So, but I just, all this mommy shaming, the bottom line is everybody does things differently. The way I do things and the way somebody else might do it could be completely different. It doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it different. Because I think of all the years I was raising my kids and some of the things now, I didn't mind people making suggestions. Like I don't know. It depends on the context, and it depends on how they coming at me. If they come, it depends on how they saying it, and depends on because I would sometimes take suggestions and stuff. I guess it depends on how you approach it. Depends on how you approach it and how you come at me with it. Then I'll take it in. I used to take it into intelligent consideration and say, okay, you know, because nobody knows it all. But to say, well, you not doing that right with your kids, or this is what I do when I read the comments on some of these videos and stuff. Well, this is what I do with my kids. Well, that's your kids. That's your kids in your family. Just because this is what you would do with your kids doesn't mean that that's the best thing for their kids. So what is best for you to do with your kids may not be the best for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does things differently. And so I just think and all this mommy shaming is just ridiculous. I think that mothers should support each other, particularly us black mothers. We should support, but I'm team mom across the board, regardless of race. I'm team mom across the board. But particularly us black mothers, we should really stick together and support one another instead of putting each other down and talking about each other. Support one another. You know, now if you give a suggestion, um, you don't have to be like judgmental about it. I think the worst part of all is when people come across and they be judgmental with it. You know, they judge you in the process of making their suggestion. If you make a suggestion to someone, you know, without judgment, then they can take that into intelligent consideration. But if you're judging in the process, then you're being judgmental and you're being hateful. So just because I've always been the type of person that I never told nobody what to do. I know I had this friend one time. And boy, she was nasty. She kept a nasty house, and she would let the kids run around the house with no shoes on their feet, and feet would be all dirty, and I've always been of the philosophy, always been the type of person I never told nobody what to do with their kids, and so well, that's the way. That's me. That's what I always believe. Never believed in telling people what to do with their kids, and so I just, even though I seen a lot of things, because she was nasty. She let the kids go outside with no shoes on their feet, and I would make a little comment like, well, yeah, oh, I hope she don't cut her feet, just kind of give her a hint, hint. But for the most part, I didn't really tell her what to do with her kids, even though I didn't like a lot of things I was seeing in her household. I still didn't tell her what to do with her kids because those were her kids. So that's just what I don't know, unless they just being downright neglectful. She was cooking the kids meals and dressing them and stuff. She just liked to let them in the summertime. She would like to let them run around with no shoes on their feet, and she kept the house nasty. I've seen worse, but it is what it is. But I never believed in telling nobody what to do with their kids, and I didn't like people telling me what to do with my kids, because my thought was, okay, you don't live in my house, you don't pay my bills, you're not doing anything for me, unless it was my mother or somebody really really close to me. Now, if somebody's, like I said, there was times where people, like I said, it depending on how they came at me, or how, if they didn't come across as being judgmental, and they would give me a suggestion, then I would listen. I'd be like, okay. But I guess it depends. I'm the type of person, if you come at me crazy, I ain't trying to hear nothing you have to say. So I mean, if you coming at me all being all judgmental and stuff like that, you know, I'm not really gonna receive what you're saying. But if you're making a suggestion, um, and I feel like what you're saying is makes sense, or if I feel like you're telling the truth, well, I can't never argue with the truth, so I might take it into intelligent consideration. But I just, like I said, I just had somebody tell me what to do with my grown sons, and I'm like, excuse me? I'm not going to go into details about what they were saying, but I wasn't happy about it. I didn't really say anything, but I wasn't happy about it. It's like, are you serious? It's like, get out of my house already. Get out of my house. But anyway, with that being said, I think us mothers need to support one another. I think we need to support each other more instead of being judgmental and putting each other down. We need to support each other, and it's okay. I think it's okay to give suggestions. It's okay to give suggestions and everything, but give them without being judgmental. Give those suggestions without being judgmental. You don't have to be judgmental about it. You know what I mean? So, because if the suggestion is given in a kind, loving way, then the person might receive it better. They may receive it better. But if you just coming in their comic section and you judging them and you're talking about them, and then you call yourself throwing some suggestions out there, they're gonna just get offended. They're not gonna hear what you have to say. They're gonna get offended. So I just think that no one is an expert. Just like you think you're doing what's right with your kids, somebody might look at you and say, that's wrong. Some people don't believe in leashes. Some people don't believe in putting leashes on kids. But I think that if it's going to keep somebody from snatching a kid, or if it's going to keep the kids from running out in the road and getting hit by a car or whatever, and particularly if you're in a bigger city, if you're in a big city like New York or somewhere like that, and you got little rambunctious toddlers, then yeah, and you don't want to necessarily put them in a stroller, then yeah, a leash is probably the best thing to do. You don't want nobody to snatch them, and you don't want them to run off into the crowd and you can't find them. You know what I'm saying? So some people think that's inhumane. They think it's inhumane to leash a child, but it depends on the situation. Depends on the situation. I had a lady at the daycare that did it. She had a set of twins, and for good reason, because them kids was something else. They was wild, you know. So in her case, I can understand it. You know what I mean? So it all depends on the situation. So I think at the end of the day, every parent knows their child. Every parent knows their child, and every parent knows what's best for their child. You looking from the outside in. You don't know their child. You don't know what's best with their child because you're looking from the outside in. And you can't go by what you do because what might work for you and your kids may not work for somebody else's. You know what I mean? What might work for my kids may not work for somebody else's. Well, I do this and that and the other, whatever, but then that might not work for my kids. That might work for your kids. It might not work for mine. Every child is different, and they respond differently to different things. You know, So what may work for my kid may not work for somebody else's. What may work for somebody else's kid may not work for yours. So I think it's best just to just stay out of people's business. And I enjoy watching the family channels on here, and I enjoy watching them. I don't for people to watch these people's channels just for the sole purpose of critiquing them and putting them down. It's just ridiculous. I just think it's ridiculous. So let me know what you people think in the comment section. How do you feel about mommy shaming? Let me know. Sound off in the comment section, particularly here on YouTube. How do you feel about it? Have you ever been mommy shamed? I want you to sound off in the comment section. Have you ever been, mothers out there, have you ever been mommy shamed? How did it make you feel? I wasn't cool with it. So let me know. Sound off in the comment section what you think. And I need you to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And I need you to hit that notification bell. So every time I do a video, it'll pop up on your phone or whatever it is that you use. I wouldn't recommend that you watch me at work because on the clock, if you're on your break, fine, but don't do it on the clock. Won't anybody get fired. But watch me in your spare time or whatever like that. And make sure to please share my videos. I need to get that scribes up. I need you guys to help me to get my scribes up. I'm trying to hit that milestone so I can start monetizing again because I have videos on here where I have thousands of hits on. I can't make any money off of them. So I need to be able to do that again. So I need you guys to help me. I need you guys to help a sister out. Help me get to that milestone. Okay, stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. I'm going to find out what's in this box. So stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. Peace and love. This is Sweet G.